Your 2-year-old asked for a cookie. You handed them the cookie, and now they look you in the eye and scream, "No." They wanted to receive the cookie and refuse it at the exact same time. Standing in the kitchen during a meltdown, it feels like a tiny person is deploying pure defiance to ruin your day. For the first 18 months of life, infants live in what psychologists call the fog of we. They possess no concept of physical or mental separateness. Your arms are their arms. They do not know where you end and they begin. Somewhere between 18 and 24 months, that fog lifts. A biological shift occurs where they realize you have your own ideas that might be different from theirs. They use the word no to test if this new reality of being separate is real. A psychologist named Erik Erikson identified this refusal as a necessary developmental stage called autonomy versus shame and doubt. The child acts like a scientist testing an instrument. Every no is a tiny experiment, and they run about 400 of them a day to verify that their own voice actually exists. A research group in Canada used self-determination theory to track how a child's psychology changes based on how parents react to those daily experiments. They identified the controlling parent as the first variable. These parents relied on pressure, guilt, and "because I said so" to force compliance. 18 months later, kids of controlling parents got worse at cooperating, learning to simply hide. The second group, autonomy-supportive parents, provided brief reasons and limited choices. Their children developed committed compliance, absorbing the rules into their own identity rather than out of fear. The data reveals a specific paradox. Making space for a child's no is the exact mechanism that builds their future ability to cooperate. Translating this data into a practical scenario, like a Tuesday evening shoe refusal, requires a specific 3-step script. Move 1. Make a flat, declarative statement. You don't want to put on the shoe. This confirms to the child that their instrument worked and you heard the message. Move 2. Offer exactly 2 acceptable options within your limit. Do you want the red shoe or the blue shoe? The requirement to leave stays in place, but giving them 2 choices allows their will a specific space to operate. Move 3 happens after the limit is enforced. Name the negotiation out loud. You said no, and we figured it out. This validates that working through the feeling is a successful skill. This script acts like a rep at the gym, strengthening the child's internal capacity for committed compliance. Certain refusals, like a car seat or brushing teeth, are not negotiable. In these moments, the safety limit must hold. This requires the parent to be a soft mountain, holding an absolute limit without escalating into a sharp tone or a lecture. A toddler pushes against the mountain to verify it is solid enough to keep them safe. A parent who yells back becomes an unstable mountain, reflecting aggression and forcing the child to push even harder to check for structural integrity. Autonomy-supportive parenting lets the child's voice exist safely within a limit you are holding. By age 5, physical, chaotic tantrums naturally start to fade. The body protest shifts into verbal negotiation. This shift toward reasoning only happens for children who are allowed to safely practice their no while it was still loud and inconvenient. The voice refusing a shoe today is the exact same voice they will rely on to say no to a toxic boss or dangerous peer pressure 20 years from now. You do not have to be a calm robot to succeed. Even apologizing after losing your patience helps build a resilient internal structure. The overall pattern of your reactions matters most. Every time you hold a limit while hearing the no, you are building an adult who has the internal power to hold their ground.